to Mr. Justin Trudeau, the Honourable Prime Minister of Canada. We're all witnessing today the great efforts by Canada as a Prime Minister, as a government, and as a nation to safeguard and protect the welfare of all of its citizens during these challenging times. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, for your great leadership. I am in day 8 of self-quarantine, and based on my interaction and experience with my own loving and caring family during this ongoing coronavirus COVID-19 quarantine period, I realize the pressing and immediate need to protect the mental, physical, and general welfare of each individual who has been placed under quarantine or isolation. I now understand the great need for better education and increased awareness amongst the household of affected individuals, as well as the general public, in order to alleviate unnecessary fear, panic, and anxiety, and to combat stigmatization and overzealous reaction. As the government delegates the responsibility for quarantine and isolation to the general public, all affected individuals will experience near full dependency on others and have to rely for help on someone else for even basic life needs. And keeping in mind that under current stay-at-home and social distancing practices, each family will be somewhat cocooned from the rest of society and effectively living in social isolation. There's a great potential for things to go wrong, even with all best intentions in mind. Mr. Prime Minister, I believe the need for regular oversight is urgent and the need for action is immediate. As all Canadians returning home from international destinations are asked to self-quarantine, and also as many of patients who are exhibiting mild or moderate symptoms are managed through self-isolation at home. I am referring to living conditions that can affect thousands of Canadians, and to some, these living conditions may extend beyond the 14-day initial quarantine period. Equally important to the government's role in enacting and enforcing laws that ensure everyone is complying with mandatory quarantine and isolation orders is the government's responsibility to introduce and implement a mechanism which safeguards the welfare of each individual while under quarantine or isolation at home. Every single person matters. I propose the formation of a national team which will be tasked with matters related to the welfare of individuals who have been ordered to self-quarantine or self-isolate at home, and I wish to volunteer my help. My family and I were truly delighted to hear that Madame Trudeau had made a full recovery. With our best wishes, sir, to you and your lovely family. Good day, Mr. Prime Minister.